Hey guys, Grumpy here with a bonus video to the Banished Restoration series. So this is going to be a tour of the town now that it's further along in development. I feel like at the end of episode 4, it kind of was the beginning of the stability period. I know we went through a lot on that journey, but I feel like it just kind of ended abruptly. So I wanted to do a tour of the town and then also take you through a few years to show what I'm doing to just maintain the town uh, as we go forward. So currently up to 334 citizens. Our population is growing steadily. We have been growing since the fall off. We've been recovering this entire time, and we'll likely hit 400 citizens pretty soon. So it's year 60. Looking at our resources, we'll go through them quickly. 2,000 logs, 3,500 firewood, 80,000 food, 200 barrels of ale, and then a healthy amount of stone, iron, coal, 1,300 herbs, 1,600 textiles. The textiles are really high, but I can't really do anything with it now because if we look over here at our working tools, we have 1,000 tools and 1,000 clothes. So our citizens can't consume the resources fast as we can generate them, which is a good thing. You want a lot of backlog, and you want to keep an eye on that. If it were the case where we had 1,000 clothes, but we only had, let's say, 100 textiles, now we know we have a problem because pretty soon we'll work through our clothing, and then we'll have to deal with a deficit. So some changes to the town that have been made since episode 4. We opened up the majority of jobs, so most of them are open. We've developed in certain areas. So our orchards have come along really nicely. So we went with 15 by 7s, like I mentioned before. They're producing 400, 371, 474. So between 300 and 500 fruit per plot. This one's producing 775. I'm not sure how that's possible. This one's producing 779. Oh, maybe they are supposed to produce 700. Okay. I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head for orchards. I really don't use them or pay attention to them too much. I just kind of set them up. I'm interested to see why these are so low then. Are the workers educated? They are. Anyway, so here's our orchard field. We'll continue to develop it and grow it out here. Of course, we use our orchards to convert them into ale. And the reason we want ale is because ale sells for 8. Has a trade value of 8. So it's really easy to turn fruit into currency that you can trade with a lot of different vendors. Almost all vendors take firewood, but it's good to have ale as a backup in case you don't have enough firewood in stock or you need firewood to light your homes. You can just get rid of ale and there's no penalty. Well, there's a small penalty. You lose a little bit of happiness, but that isn't as impactful as trading away all your firewood and then freezing through the winter. So the ale is a really nice backup. I believe it's 3 to 4 fruit per barrel of ale. So you're basically doubling your resources when you make ale from fruit. We also develop our pastures. So I converted this to pasture land like I mentioned before. We got all 3 farm animals. So I split them up like this. So I have cows over here, cows over here. The reason being is if there's ever blight, I don't mind losing my chickens. It's very easy to save them. You can just build a small coop and then repopulate them quickly. But if you lose cows, it can be devastating. If you lose sheep, it can slow you down. So I have a spare plot here, just ready to go whenever. So in case a blight does happen, I can just eject these. So like I can just eject these. Well, not him because there's 26 here. But send them over here for to save them from their blighted area. Our farms are doing really nicely. They're educated now, so they should be yielding. Yeah, that's closer to what we should be seeing. 1,500, 1,300. Are these workers educated? They are. That's closer to what we should be seeing. I'm not sure why there's underperformance on these beans. Oh. No, that makes sense then. It's because our storage barns are full. Right. So because these storage barns are full, they can't drop off the resources. So I'll probably build this row up with storage barns. But anyway, they're getting as close to max shields as possible. This one's probably going through the same thing. Yeah. Beans probably fill up this storage barn before the peppers can fill it up. I developed our economic zone. So I have 3 woodcutters down here, 2 blacksmiths producing iron tools, and then I should have tailors. I have this tailor. Oh no, I have tailors over here. And then I have tailors producing wool coats. So the wool coats and the iron tools are going into the trading posts so that they can be traded away. The way it's staged is this one is receiving iron tools because that's where blacksmiths are. And these 2 are receiving wool coats because our tailors are on this side. I probably do need to build more tailors and increase the limit so that we can work down our textiles. But for right now, it's working. Dotted throughout the town are a handful of taverns. And what I'm doing is if I see the no resource icon, then I look through the list and see whatever our next highest fruit is. So it'd be plums, and just switch over to that. So we can go ahead and switch this to plums. There we go. And then they should start working again. I did build another chapel with another small graveyard over here. That's just because the first chapel filled up with citizens. All of my markets are fully operational, and I believe they all have at least 2 staff in them. Yes, and they are all basically full. Full of food, full of tools, full of warm coats. There's nowhere for that to go. Again, our people can't consume it fast enough. The next area that I want to develop is probably going to be down here. There is so much good fishing real estate in this area. Like right now right now we have 40,000 food, and that is like half of our food is just fish. Because these dudes are just monsters. 1,800 there. Well, 1,200 there. That's because that one's far away. Let's see, how much did you pull in? 2,400. That is a phenomenal fishing dock. So, we can grow the city. Obviously, we have a gluttony of resources, and we need somewhere to put those resources. So, oh, also, I built up a bunch of houses in this area, and I've just been constantly building more and more houses. So, as we go through the years here, I'll develop this area to show you like how I do that. And also this area. So we'll build kind of down here in this valley. And I'll show you the steps that it takes to build a new area. Other than that, I think we're good. Oh, one small thing that I want to do is actually, so here I have to double lane the sides like this. But if I just shift everything over by 1, then this would be in line, and then I could just have 1 clean line. So I might destroy these and push those over. If you were copying that build, you can fit 3 15 by 15 fields side by side. And if you do alternating barn house like this, then it all fits neatly in a nice grid. All right, so let's go ahead and unpause. And when a new merchant arrives, I'll show you how I set up my trading posts. So in this area, it's very isolated. So something I might want to do actually is look to build a tunnel through here. Yeah, we'll build a tunnel through here. So that'll be how we start. The reason being is I don't want them walking. Like, if I need someone to go from the market to here, I don't want them to walk across this bridge, and then walk around this mountain. I'd rather just carve through this. So let's see if we can get there. I don't know exactly where I want the tunnel to pop out. But let's see if we can't get it right on the water's edge. And then, if needs be, we can build another tunnel later on. And then, let's see. Actually, we'll cancel this and we'll back it up just a little bit so that it's in line with this road. No real reason to do that. That's just aesthetics. I think it would look nice if it was built like this. You won't let me get the last tile. That's fine. And then we'll have this road sweep the water's edge. Have it come out like that. And we'll just get to work on that. We'll build a small bridge in front of the tunnel. If we're going to build a bridge like that, we might as well let it flow from the market. And that way we can get a road. As I industrialize, I probably will turn this also into a population center. Since we need more people to consume resources. Actually, while we're here, I'll build up a few houses. We'll build them. We'll build them like this. Okay, so they'll work on building that. And kind of you can see the problem happening already is they have to walk around. Oh, hey, look. They built that tunnel very fast. They have to walk around to work on projects over here instead of just being able to utilize this tunnel. All right, so we had a trader come in, so let's talk about trade. I did build another trade post, so now I have 3. They're being worked by a healthy amount of workers, so I have 8 in each one. And their goal is to fill and empty the trading post as quickly as possible. To facilitate that, we have things like storage barns nearby, stockpiles nearby. Actually, I'm missing a stockpile. There should be one like right here. Just build one like that. There's stockpiles nearby. There's housing nearby, so everyone should live near their market. So when evaluating the traders, this is a livestock trader. I don't need any more livestock. We're very successful with our 2 pits. I could fill this one, but this one again is for emergency only. In case a blight pops up, we have somewhere to ship our farm animals to save them. I could start building pastures in this direction. That is a possibility, but again, we are over on food already, so I'm not really worried about getting more cattle. I don't need any of these animals, and the only thing that a livestock trader will trade is animals, so I can just go ahead and dismiss them and make room for the next trader to come in next year. Then we have one of our everything merchants. So hey, this is the guy that saved us, I believe, in episode 2 or 3. So this is our everything merchant. The reason I call them an everything merchant is because they sell just about everything. The only thing they don't sell is livestock. But besides that, you get food, resources, anything you might need. So something that I need to do is I need to import now fruit from him. So apple, cherry, plum, pear, and peaches. Because this is what our taverns use to convert into ale. So we wanted to start gathering those resources from him, from the trader. Now, priority-wise, we definitely need logs. You always want to purchase logs. In fact, it's so important that you can go over here to this purchase tab. When merchant arrives, when merchant leaves, doesn't matter. But you can do purchase however many logs you are comfortable with trading. What it'll do is it'll trade off your top resource for theirs and then go to the second one and then trade off. And it'll keep going down the list until it completes whatever your order is. But logs are crucial if you're running a firewood economy. I have a mixed economy, so I'm not totally dependent on firewood, but just in general, you probably want logs because it takes a while to obviously reseed a tree and replant a tree. If we look at our foresters, well, they haven't been working, but I believe our foresters only pull in like 100 logs a year or something like that. Yeah, 192 logs. So this one trade, where that? This one trade represents 4 years worth of productivity, or 4 fully staffed, perfectly placed Forester's Lodge. Like educated, steel tools, warm clothing. This represents 16 people's worth of labor for this trade. So you definitely want to buy logs if you're running a firewood economy, and just in general, again, you really want logs. Wool coats or warm coats, we don't need warm coats. We probably won't need warm coats. You go through your clothing very slowly. So actually, I'm going to stop requesting it. And what this will do is it'll increase the yield of all the other things on this list. So the boat can only carry so much goods. So if I request warm coats, that's taking space away from something else. As far as steel tools go, we really don't need steel tools. We are good to go on steel tools. We have 1,000. These go a lot more quickly than clothing, but still we have 1,000. Like, we're not gonna burn through 1,000 in the next few years, so we can pass on that. One thing we could do is we can trade 200 though for, what is that? 150. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of trading our iron tools for steel tools. We can upgrade our iron tools. That's 130. Yes. So we can upgrade our iron tools for steel tools, which is a possibility. That's definitely something that we can do. So we can get rid of some of the excess tools and just go for a straight upgrade. So that's fine. We do want the logs. Coal. Coal is important if you have less than what you need to produce steel tools. Because we're at abundance right now, and we have an abundance of firewood, our citizens really shouldn't be using coal. I'm gonna pin this so it stops going away. Our citizens shouldn't really be using coal. Yeah, they have 162 versus 4,000 in their homes. So we don't have a need for coal. It's just going to take up room in our stockpiles, so we'll pass on that. What was it, 133? 200. Herbs. We have a diverse food selection, so we don't need herbs. Herbs help heal your population if you have bad food diversity. So for every food type, they get a heart. So you have your proteins, which comes from fish, meat, and tree nuts. Then you have vegetables, which come from like your farms primarily. Then you have fruits, which come from your orchards. And then there's another one. Oh, and then grain, which is your wheat. So if you have all those food types, then you should have healthy citizens, so you shouldn't need herbs. I keep an excess of herbs just in case, but at this point of the game, it's kind of not required. So actually, I can go ahead and stop requesting herbs. And then we have wool. We don't need any textiles. Well, I shouldn't say that. We should check what textiles we have. So we have almost 800 leather, and we have 800 wool. That's a good balance. We can make our own warm coats, so we don't need any more of those textiles. You want to order enough to balance each other out. And then finally, we have iron. We don't really have a need for iron. Most of our towns are upgraded at this point, but we'll take a small bit, just to keep us above 1,000. You never know. You might go on a crazy building spree or something. Oh, actually, we are about to go on a building spree. So yeah, let's increase our iron. You don't need much. Most buildings take stone over iron. So, besides the iron tools, now we have to decide what else we want to trade away. So in order of priority, if you have excess food, you can trade away your food. So venison and mutton, we can trade away, as well as beef. This will more than cover the costs because you get a lot of this stuff. It's very easy to come by. Firewood is the basis of most economies. If your wood situation doesn't look good, like you don't have a lot of logs, you don't have a lot of firewood, then don't trade away your firewood. It is definitely not worth it. Your citizens will freeze to death very quickly if they don't have good clothing, which if you're in a situation where you have clothing but not firewood, that's a little inverted. Usually it's the case you don't have good firewood and you don't have good clothing. So freezing to death is very likely. Same thing, if you have excess food, then trade away your food. If you are at a deficit, then don't trade away your food. Even though this is very easy to come by, it is also very easy for your citizens to grow faster than you realize and end up with very small food reserves. So that's something to consider. Ale is a freebie. You can always trade away your ale. It's good value and it's very easy to make. So if you're already importing fruit, which we're doing from most of our other vendors, and if you have zero ale, if you have absolutely no ale, it's fine. You'll lose like a star. You'll lose a bit of happiness, but your entire city, your entire village won't collapse because you have no ale. And then wool coats. I traded with wool coats because I usually end up with an excess of wool because I have a lot of sheep farms. Again, we have dedicated tailors to making wool. So I feel comfortable trading this away. We have tons of warm coats in reserve. Right, we have... how many warm coats? We have 1,000 warm coats in reserve, so I don't feel bad trading this stuff away. All right, and then just to complete the trade, I'm going to trade away some firewood. Yeah, they get a little extra, that's fine. And then we will go ahead and send this one on his way. Cool. So that's what trade looks like. That's how we set up our trade. That's how I evaluate what to trade away. Coming back down here now, the road should be built. Yes, somewhat. So something I might want to do is if I need this area for mining, I want to measure out the mines first. So to see like how far I can recess them, how many I can get in a row. This is actually really smooth terrain. You can fit a ton of mines here. I'm jealous. Normally my maps, I'm jealous I'm playing this map. Normally I don't get to fit 3 mines side by side. That's incredible. So something I might want to do is measure out all the, if this was going to be a mining district, measure out all the mines so that I could draw one straight road between them. Something like this. So I can see like what the inaccessible areas are so that I know how much space I have to work with. So let's just draw a square like that. I will not be building these mines, but I'll pause them here so we have them for reference. And then I'll draw some more roads connecting parts of this. So something like that, it would be how I would begin to sketch out the area. And now I know if I wanted to turn this into a mining district, in the middle, I'm going to need a market. So as best as I can, I want to center it. Doesn't really matter if it's perfect, but we do want something like that. Ah, one off. What can you say? All right. We want to remove these inner roads then. And then cancel this. And then push it up. Something like that. Cool. And now that we have a centrally located market, what we can do from there now is we can build some of the things that we're going to need in this area. So if this is going to be a mining district, something we definitely need is going to be stockpiles. So we want to build large stockpiles everywhere we can. So we want to build them something like that. It's just a little too big. That's fine. Actually, I would want to shrink these because I would want houses on the back sides of these. So let's do something like that. Yep, and then we can fit houses. Can I fit 3? Oh, that's fantastic. I would want to fit houses on the backside of that, and I want to leave a little bit of a buffer. You don't want to build your houses right up against the mines because then they'll be unhappy and they'll be unhealthy. Turns out someone mining in your backyard 24/7 makes for unhappy individuals. One thing that we do need to do though is we need to prioritize these stockpiles. So currently they have to walk all the way back and forth if they want to drop off these resources, which is really inefficient. All right. Now that we're later developed into the game, I want to build the market first. You do want to build the market as soon as possible in a new area, but because we're established, we have resources elsewhere. I think the market leads. Otherwise, if you're in the early game, what I would definitely strongly recommend is this setup, which is going to be Gatherer's Hut, Hunting Cabin, and then a house, possibly 2 houses in a footprint like this, and then a storage barn. This kind of setup generates like 600 food from the hunter, and then usually around 1200 food for the from the gatherer. So you're talking about like nearly 2000 food for 2 buildings. That's enough to feed 20 people for each one of these that you stamp down. That said, we want to prioritize the market because once the market is there, it'll bring the resources that we need to feed everyone so they don't have to walk back and forth to other areas of the town. I'm also going to make more laborers traders. I mentioned this before, but traders act just like laborers when they're not assigned to a dock. The only difference is they carry 5 times as many resources. So I tend to use that a lot. That is very, very convenient. And those are the traders dropping off the huge bulk of resources instead of like the one piece at a time. Right, let's go back to our traders. Yeah, so herbs can get out of hand. They can take up a lot of space. So let's stop requesting herbs. We can also stop requesting warm coats at this point. And same thing, we want to start requesting fruit. Each pear, plum. We do need stone. I believe we're requesting it, but you didn't bring any. Yes, we are, but you just didn't bring any. That's fine. We don't need steel tools. Same thing, how we upgraded the iron tools to steel tools, we'll upgrade the wool coat. So we'll go for 229, and we'll buy as many wool coats as we can afford, which I think is roughly like 160. Nope. Uh, 135. 7. Okay. We'll upgrade our wool coats for our warm coats. We're making room for the same amount of textiles. So actually we're trading away some textiles for better ones. So that's worth it. We'll buy more logs because you always want more logs. And we'll trade away ale for that. So that's 50. And we'll buy 2 herbs to make up the difference. Yeah. And then we'll send them away. As far as seeds go, I buy them just so that I can fill out the entire this page, but you don't need them. You only need a handful. I buy pecan seeds though. I already have corn, so we don't need that. And then this is our food truck that I referenced, I believe, in the 3rd episode. So the food truck is really important. This is the supplemental part of our economy. So just like we would buy logs, we want to buy as much fruit as we can. So we want 2,000 plums, 2,000 apples. And we're willing to, you want to trade away food for food first? Well, I mean, you can also trade away ale. That's fine. Then trade whatever else you have. This is fine. And then finally trade away the firewood, which is 1,000. Nope, it's 1,300. 1,350. And then trade away the firewood. Nice. And all those fruits will get converted into ale for our citizens, and then also to trade away again. And then the cycle repeats. So our blacksmiths now with a little more room, or now that we sold off the tools and the wool coats, we free up room for our tailors and our blacksmiths to get back to work, and they'll fill back in the missing supplies, or the missing trade goods. I'm actually going to increase you to 10. Increase you to 10, and then increase you to 10. I'd like these 3,000 peach, but if we don't get it, that's fine as well. I'm actually going to go down here, and for fruits, I'm going to ask for 9,999, just so that they get it on the next trip. So we'll go ahead and switch you over to peach so that you start working through the peach and producing the ale. All right, so our market is ready. We'll reduce this down to maybe like 4 workers. Add 4 more marketeers to the population. And now we can start building our houses in. Again, looking to build it away from the mines if the mines were built in here. Then we can build it like this. And we want to build up this area. You know what? We can actually shrink this. So the roads are merely a guideline. Adjust them as needed. I'm gonna collect this stone while we're down here. And then one of the first jobs that we want in this area, because this is perfect, absolutely perfect for fishing, and that has been a staple of our village, we want to build some fishing docks. And this one is going to produce... it needed to be like just a touch wider. This one would be perfect if this island was a little bit, or this jut was a little bit wider, and I could sit this like right here. Instead of having to recess it really sets us back. I do want another fishing dock, but I wonder if it'll be worth it. It's so far back you can actually see the land peeking through. All right, we'll build it here anyway. That's fine. Now, next to my fishing docks, I always go for a storage barn. And then this one, the housing was already taken care of. But for this fishing dock, you need the houses to be close by. So you want to do something like that. And we'll build a road that traces the coast and then leads into town. Like that. So I should just get more builders on this. Go up to 30. Also collect the iron that's down here. And now, because we built the market up first, as soon as these houses are established and families move in, they'll be able to quickly stock their homes. We'll build this like that. And then we'll have to tighten this one up. So immediately, if we can follow you, you're switching over to gathering food. And the reason being is you moved into a new house with no food inside of it. So you're going to gather food and then you're going to drop it off. You're going to gather fuel and you're going to drop it off. Perfect. And then you should go back to doing whatever you were doing. All right. Speaking of fuel, the next thing that you want to build in this area, if food isn't established, after your food would be a woodcutter. You really want to build your woodcutter near your market because you need it to constantly supply the firewood that you need to feed this town. Now, because we could put a forester in this bowl. Because there's no good forested area, most of our wood is probably going to come from up here. So I just want to build it at the mouth of the tunnel, like this. And that's going to provide also insulation from the mines, right? So like I remember not to build houses next to it. And we'll face this one inside. For a town this large, we'll go ahead and build 2 woodcutters. And then we'll slap down another stockpile. Like that. So now we have food coming in from the fisheries that'll go up pretty soon. We have woodcutters in the area, so we need to go up 2 woodcutters. And then, what else? Because this is so far away, we could build a tailor and a blacksmith also in this area. A blacksmith does make sense because eventually, if we were building this like a real area, we could build a blacksmith because we'll have both access to iron and coal. So it does make sense to build down here. A tailor though, a tailor is going to be tough because the nearest source of any textile is going to be this hunter, and that's only going to be leather. So we really just want to rely on our marketeers to go up north, grab the warm coats, and then come back down south and fill the market up, which they're already doing. So we'll skip that. We have a steady source of clothing, but we could build a blacksmith to represent constant tool production in this area. And we might need a blacksmith. Tools get degraded in mines very quickly, so it does make sense to have tool production being localized tool production. So how do we want to build it though? It's kind of inefficient. Alright, we'll go ahead and remove this road. We'll remove all these roads. And we'll play with this area to see what works. I want to try to squeeze in like 4 blacksmiths maybe. Alright, let's see. We probably do want to maintain that road, but let's do 2 like this. And then back this one all the way up. No, the goal was to put a stockpile in the center, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Can recess you. Yeah, that works. And then we'll put a common stockpile in the center for all of our blacksmiths to share. Build a road up here. Build that road back. that, build that, build that. And that works. Oh, you guys are gonna need a storage barn though. So weirdly, you can't store tools in a storage barn. Or sorry, you can't store tools on a stockpile, even though it's made of those. But you can fit it in a storage barn, so we'll remove this stockpile, and we'll just put a storage barn there. Actually, we'll slap down 2 storage barns, and those will be for our tools. We'll actually go up 2 more marketeers. Because our market isn't full, we want to have more marketeers here until it is full. Actually, we're going to hit our food cap. Let's just increase it. You guys are all builders, but like there's no real work here. We won't get much wood from this, but we'll go ahead and build 2 woodcutters in the bowl. So we'll build it like this to cover all this area. And then we'll build you here. Gather these resources. We'll just staff them with 1 worker. 1 worker can maintain all of this. And to stress test our town, we will, sure, go ahead and accept 63 nomads. We do need people to populate these houses. And I guess while we're doing that, we might as well actually actualize these mines. And we can build those. We can push this out 1 more. Okay, so we might be able to fit more housing in this area. Oh, never mind. We have plenty of space. Well, I say we have plenty of space, but not really. We actually just need them to remove this section. Stockpile next to our forces lodge. We don't need 500 traders. We'll get 60 traders. Use it by 4. One, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna need a lot of marketeers down here to keep up with all this demand. And then let's begin. Let's go ahead and make sure we set all of these blacksmiths to steel producers, steel tool producers. And then we want coal and iron. And we'll get 30 miners. That sounds good. Set the limits like 1,000. Now, there are mods that make your mines unlimited, and I really wish they were unlimited, or like you had a deep coal mine or like a deep iron mine. But in vanilla, they do run out. So eventually what happens is your town becomes abandoned. Well, not abandoned, but these people down here don't have work after these mines run out. We can collect all this stone now. Plenty of stone. We need to buy the stone. And we trade away our ale. What is it? It's more than 1,000. Okay, it's 66. 67. We can buy the iron. Cool. We'll buy all of your fruits. Because I have really low wool coats, this lets me know that I do need more tailors. So we'll take a look at that. And then we need 1,800. 50, sure. Our fruit levels are pretty good, so cherry, plum, peach, pear, all pretty level. So we don't have to worry about that. Oh, one more thing to build in your town, if you're at this advanced into the game, is you also want a tavern. Taverns, yes, they brew alcohol, but they also store it locally, so it gives you access to ale. As you notice, which I didn't realize this was the case, ale isn't stored in the market. It's not stored in a storage barn. The only place it's stored is in a tavern. So you will need to consider that. Yeah, let's set the coal limit to 500. Let's set the iron limit to 500. And you know what? We'll build a church on the outside of town. We'll build it a little further away. With a nice cemetery in the area. I know there's an optimal size for cemeteries. I don't know it offhand. I just build whatever looks nice. And we build it like that. And then we link it in here. And then a stone house for the priest. An undertaker. With a hospital nearby, sure. Oh, and again, sorry, something else that I forgot. You need an herbalist. Herbalist, same thing with the tavern. The herbalist distributes herbs. So in case your citizens do get sick, then they can just go to the herbalist and get healed up. The reason I'm putting it in town is because I have plenty of herbs. I can just buy more if I need some. I don't need them to collect them. I just need them to distribute those herbs. Let's make... What do our miners like to drink? We'll make them a fortified port. We'll make this out of berries. No, they're beer drinkers. We'll make it out of wheat. So we'll slap down a wheat field somewhere nearby. We'll put it right here. We'll put down a wheat field. Food is already taken care of. This is just for RP at this point. We'll do a couple 15 by 11s for wheat fields. We'll build storage barns. Neatly tucked away in the mountains. Alright. So our last blacksmith is situated here. These just need one individual. We need 2 more foresters. We'll grow wheat in this area. We'll need 2 farmers. Need 1 more herbalist. Again, we're not interested in collecting herbs. Obviously, we wouldn't get anything from here. We just need this as a pseudo hospital or a healing center. There's an actual hospital in the game, which doesn't do anything. Even if your citizens get diseased, they'll just stand at their house. Well, I guess hospitals quarantine sick individuals, but if the disease isn't too bad, they'll just stand at their house until they get healed. And I think if they have like enough herbs, they'll just tank it. So your hospital just serves to quarantine people. So anyone that walks past a sick individual has a chance of becoming sick themselves. Hospitals, usually if they're built out of the way, will shuffle everyone that's sick to that area, reducing traffic. Oh, the farmer's house. You can put it in a better spot. Build it like that. But yeah, that's how I would expand a town. Market first, then your housing, and then to supplement your house, you need herbalist, taverns, woodcutters, and food, all in this area. In this case, we're building blacksmiths nearby because our tools do tend to break a lot. So we have a local source of tools, and we store those tools in these storage barns. We actually need more marketeers because our market has fallen behind. You want to keep your market very full. And yeah, that's it. We talked about trade. So what I prioritize for trade, what I trade away, how the trade economy works, how I expanded the town. Checking on you guys. See, now you're producing. Huh. Maybe there was like a transitory period. Oh, see, now these are empty. Or not empty, but they're less full than they were before. Cool. So our fields are producing, our pastures are producing. We haven't had to deal with blight, but we do have backup just in case. And yeah, that's it. We built a couple more fishing spots. These underperformers, I would have to watch them for a year to see what's causing the issue. Yeah, and I'd imagine it's a full storage barn nearby. Probably same with you. Yeah. You're hardly producing any. I might destroy this bridge. We'll see. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that more in-depth guide. I think just watching someone play and actually build up a town helps decision making, and I hope I was clear in the steps that I took and why I took them. Really enjoy this game. I'll probably be playing it for quite a while. I don't know if it'll continue to feature on the channel, but it was fun to get back into Banished for sure. This road's gonna be all broken. That's fine. We have a broken road on the edge of town. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Other than that, Grumpy out.